They warned me not to come here. They told me not to stand behind this coffin. Al Pacino, who had come to the crossroads in his life again, knew the right path every time he knew, without exception, but never took it. And you know why. Because it was too damn hard. Says to a crowd in a church in the movie City Hall, and again, old character actor Al Pacino, who plays practically the same character in every movie, who had played the bank robber on a dog's day afternoon, screaming out the memory of Attica, asking for a helicopter to the airport for himself and his buddy, who had played the mob boss Michael Corleone, inheriting the job of his father, the Godfather, and who went to Mo Green in Las Vegas to buy him out and asked why he had slapped around his brother, Freedom, and who had played the attorney John Milton alongside Keanu Reeves in The Devil's Advocate, decided to ignore that sagacious wisdom and went on, damn the torpedoes and full steam ahead, and did it anyway, anyhow. I was warned not to come here, he said. I was warned. They warned me. Don't stand behind that coffin. But why should I heed such a warning when a heartbeat, a precious and tender sign of life, has been made silent and a child lies dead? Don't stand behind this coffin, they said. He said. But as a politician in another election, he was still yet determined, undaunted to fight on anyhow. He didn't feel no ways tired. Maybe you heard that before. Because of a little child, maybe even your child, pure and innocent as the driven snow, and claimed that he must stand there because he had not given those people, the people, what they should have, what we should have. And he claimed to those there gathered at a funeral, a day of weeping and mourning and sadness and grievous loss, that you could label him a failure. Yes, you could label him a failure, and you had that grant of permission from him until that day when one bright morning comes and trumpets sound as people rejoice for a city, their city, our city, great again. It's a standard political speech, canned speech, winded up like a toy. But empirically, that day when you may call upon him for service in favor may never come, will never come. But sure as the sun rises in the east and sets in the west each day, you can bet your last money that he'll be back with another speech for the next election, asking you to help him or her. And the rule numero uno for politics, at least for a politician, is if you are ever invited to a poker game and don't know who the sucker is to a mathematical certainty, my friend, it is probably you. And you look like an intelligent person. And everybody wants to be a winner, not a loser. Do you feel like a winner? Is this your lucky day? Welcome to Pandemic Election Day edition, ladies and gentlemen. Are we having fun yet, boys and girls? I most certainly am, I must say. Elections, like pandemics, are a multi-billion-dollar business. Coffee is for closers, and I've got a piece of it again. And that's not just hyperbole. There is an ancient Chinese curse that you might live in interesting times, and that surely we have. And the Mandarin character for crisis is a unique marriage, perhaps queer, of two Mandarin characters, danger and opportunity, but opposites, at least in science, do attract. And they stand to remind us, boys and girls, that wherever there is danger, there is always, always, always opportunity. And fortune always, always, always favors the bold. So be bold like a winner, or just cower in fear, as either is your choice in a natural selection and determinant, where survival is the name of the game, and only the strong survive. And at least in pandemic, Dr. Rochelle Walensky at the CDC admits that this virus isn't stupid. A single strand of RNA who has never gone to high school or college, gotten a GED, and that is not even capable of one sentient thought. And if this virus has fooled even Dr. Anthony Fauci before, and if human choices have not served you well in a pandemic on election day, you just gotta ask yourself, pal, do you feel lucky, my friend? Is this your lucky day? Then you're fired. You don't succeed in business or anywhere on dumb luck, where everyone would be a millionaire with champagne dreams and caviar wishes. The battle is won before it is fought in those wars that Sun Tzu said are all based upon deception. You know, who you calling fool, fool. The strong survive and the weak. A life solitary, miserable, brutish, and short, according to John Hobbes, in his State of Nature, where the organizing principle was for what? Not war. Jerkin, JFK movie set, but security. The very first priority for work for a Ranger patrol after entering an objective rally point, or ORP, subordinating you to Maslow's first needs in the needs hierarchy of basic subsistence, food, clothing, and shelter. Why? Because if you don't have security, the guy who arrives with more of them and less of you will take away your stuff. You've met bullies in the world, at least by high school, if not grammar school, who made you feel like a chump. You know, join Jerome Mackey today and become the wrong guy to attack. So the bad news or good news is that as of today, you are again fired. If you are clinging to your lucky rabbit's foot in a nation divided, but you have had a chance today in a limited time offer that won't last forever to redeem yourselves and recoup your losses, boys and girls, because you have been chosen as a member of a project management team to develop a solution to move a little closer to that American dream. And you owe it to yourself to take a little for yourself, especially after what has been described as a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic, but continuing pandemic, and will continue pandemic, in which even the president has said, looking you in the eye, while it may be different for everyone, we all lost something. And a part of that loss was the idea that a government, even in America, could do those big things that matter. But at least General George Patton believed that Americans love a winner, believed that Americans had never lost a war, believed that very thought of losing was anathema to any real American who always fights, because that was what he believed about America. That was his America. And he would be proud to lead those guys anytime, anywhere. And because, just like Reverend Martin Luther King said in his last address, that would ironically become his own eulogy, that somewhere he read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere he read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere he read of the freedom of the press. Somewhere he even read that the greatness of America is the right to protest the right. And Republican or Democrat, Reverend King never believed that it was not all about your rights. And at least that old preacher, not afraid of the gospel of Jesus Christ, had said, let us rise up tonight with a greater readiness. Let us stand with a greater determination. Let us move on in these powerful days, these days of challenge, a little bit inconvenient to America to make it what it ought to be. We have an opportunity, he said, to make America a better nation. Has anybody here seen my old friend Martin? Can you tell me where he's gone? Goodbye. Despite a turbulent and contentious season in America that had found us a rather bewildered human race again, having neither peace within nor peace without again, and finding everywhere paralyzing fears harrowing people by day and haunting them by night again, everywhere and on every turn seeing its ominous possibilities again, at least Reverend King believed that something is happening down in Memphis. Tennessee. Something was happening down in Birmingham, Alabama. Something was happening in Cicero, Illinois. Something was happening in Harlem, New York. Something was happening in our world. And today we remember him. Has anybody here seen my old friend Martin? Can you tell me where he's gone? If not, you're fired. Despite a turbulent and contentious season in America, Reverend King believed that he could not sit idly by in Atlanta and not be concerned about what happens in Birmingham. He believed that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, and that we are as one, caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny, so that whatever affects one directly affects one indirectly. And he was sure that with those beliefs, had he lived in Germany at that dark time of a Holocaust that had claimed the lives of 6 million people, then he would have been there, reporting for duty, standing post to aid and comfort his Jewish brothers. You lost 6 million people in 2 years. Lost your business, lost your family, lost your home, lost your summer vacation. Where are you? And he believed that if today he had lived in a communist country where certain principles dear to the Christian faith were suppressed, he would be out openly advocating and disobeying those countries' anti-religious laws. And where are you? Standing with the Ukraine flag in your window? Anyone could dream, because it's easy to dream, but approaching an election where democracy, they say, depends upon it. When the nation is sick, the whole nation is in the car, and you have to get her to the hospital, you have to ask yourself, are you that Dr. King? Has anybody here seen my old friend Martin? Can you tell me where he's gone? If not, you're fired. Because despite a turbulent and contentious season in America, that Dr. King didn't get discouraged. That Dr. King didn't feel defeated. That Dr. King didn't cry it in his cookies and beer. And that Dr. King said that if he was standing at the beginning of time with the possibility of taking a kind of general and panoramic view of the whole of human history up to now, or at least his point in life, and the Almighty had said to him, Martin Luther King, which age would you like to live in? Time of comfort? Time of happier days? Well, Reverend King said he might take a mental journey all the way back to the Parthenon if he could live at any time and anywhere in the whole of human history. But yet resolved that didn't matter now. He said strangely, if I could live at any time and anywhere in the whole of human history, I would turn to the Almighty and say, if you allow me to live just a few years in the second half of the 20th century, where I am right now, I will be happy. Longevity has its place. Why? Because even though he was in a world all messed up, even though his nation was sick, even though trouble was in the land and confusion was all around, and darkness cast its gloomy shadow, touching everything and everyone in its path, sometimes, just sometimes, somehow, only when it is darkest can you see the stars. Sometimes only when you are scratching where you don't itch and laughing where you are not tickled. Just sometimes, somehow, only when it is dark enough can you see the stars. And he saw a God working in that period of the 20th century in a way that men, in some strange way, were responding. Has anybody here seen my old friend Martin? Can you tell me where he's gone? If not, you're fired. Has anyone here seen my old friend John, who observed not a victory, a party, but a celebration of freedom, symbolizing an end as well as a beginning, signifying a renewal as well as a change, as he swore before an Almighty God? The same solemn oath of our forebears prescribed nearly a century and 3/4 ago before him. Has anyone here seen my old friend John, who believe the same revolutionary beliefs for which our forebears fought are still at issue around the globe today. The belief that the rights of man come not from the generosity of the state, a welfare state, but from the hand of God. Who believe that we dare not forget today that we are the heirs of that first revolution. Those men who stood up against the British Empire and encouraged his fellow Americans in profiles of courage to let the word go forth from this time and place to friend and foe alike that the torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans, born in this century, tempered by war, disciplined by a hard, not easy, and bitter peace, not convenient, proud of their heritage, ancient, and unwilling to witness or permit the slow undoing of those human rights to which this nation has always been committed. They were not erasing anything, but standing proud. And for those principles to which they were committed then, at home and around the world, who believe that only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger, and who did not cower in fear or wallow in despair every time they saw the news to find out that democracy was at stake, but rather said boldly, I do not shrink from that responsibility, I welcome it. I do not believe that any of us would exchange places with any other people or any other generation, but maybe he wasn't talking to you. The energy, the faith, the devotion which we bring this endeavor, he thought, will light our country and all who serve it, and the glow of that fire can truly light the world. And if you cannot say that and do that, anybody could say stuff, then you are not that Jack Kennedy. You are no Jack Kennedy. Maybe you got into politics kindergarten like every other politician. So angry you made a sign about yourself, not about issues. Up there bigger than Jesus or on Palm Sunday and Easter. There's a sign about yourself and your empty promises. And at least you're not in that notch below you, the idiot who will vote for you only because of a party label, proud to be played as a sucker with nothing to show for a return on investment on election day, more than a chance to toast some champagne at a victory party and say your candidate won, or drown your sorrows in beer because your candidate lost. But not having anything but some old memories to keep you going back next year to do it all over again, like Sisyphus, going up that mountain one more time, waking up every day to climb a mountain and come back down again, or fall back down again. On the day after election day, if you can't say you got something tangible in your hand, you got paid in some meaningful way, because due process is the opportunity to be heard at a meaningful time and in a meaningful manner, then you, my friend, are not participating in politics, no matter what kind of an activist you think you are. And you are just fooling yourself with your little black beret, going in every day to a job with no paycheck, or paying for a furniture set on credit 12 times over and compounding interest for the rest of your life, would have amounted, in the end, to nothing. A tinkling brass, a sounding cymbal, nothing. Player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and heard no more that tale told by an idiot. Nothing for you, nothing for your kids and family, nothing for those you care about. Win or lose on election day, the only one who won is your candidate. He got paid, and you're just another loser. A sucker ready to return to the casino with broken hearts next year. But you look like an intelligent person. Sadly, you don't understand the harsh reality of politics, that is like sales, where if you don't know why you want to be the runner-up in the Rio Rancho real estate sales sweepstakes motion to get that set of steak knives instead of winning the grand prize Cadillac Eldorado, thanks to for the price of one, You don't have any chance of drinking a sip of the coffee for closing, so put that donut down, pal. Real politics is a contact sport. Up close and personal, glad he ate her contest. And there is no place for a vegetarian except as an appetizer in this dog-eat-dog world of politics. When you play with fire, you get burned. Best learn not to put your hand on that hot stove again, and again, and again. You keep playing poker with that bear long enough, and one of these days that old bear is gonna poke you right back. Even Jack Kennedy talked of the fool who foolishly rode the back of the tiger and eventually wound up inside a tiger. Stop doing it. If when you ask yourself, are you better off than you were 4 years ago, or 2 years ago, or since the last election over and over again, and don't realize that you're listening to a broken record, then dear Cassius, maybe the fault is not in our stars, but in us. That we are but mere underlings. If it is up to me, my friend, you have to ask yourself. If it is to be, it is up to me. Why does Rice play Texas? Not because it is easy, but because it is hard. Not doing that convenient stuff. Not convenient. Eternal vigilance is the price of liberty. Even Reverend King realized that if the response you keep getting over and over again is wait, what they are really telling you is never, go away. And you haven't quite graduated yet to understand that in evolutionary pressure and natural selection. And maybe on that day, when you understand the secrets of success, then you will be a man, my son, with a good conscience. That only one sure reward will be, with history the final judge of your deeds, can you go forth to lead that land you love, asking his blessing, his help, but knowing here on earth, God's work must truly be our own. So stand and pray. James said Aramis, my friend, because the future is in your hands, your body, and your choice. Are you fired up? If not, pal, you're fired. 95% of businesses fail. Give a less than 5% chance of getting COVID-19. Are you a loser or are you a winner? This briefing is unclassified. As you will. Honest as you were. My friend, unless your daddy happens to own the railroad, we're going to enjoy a very brief Hey, sugar, where's my coffee? You still here? I told you, fire. Go away. This advertisement was authorized by Mike Webb. You're fired.